Okay, great. All right, so we are back, or we're on with our second video, and so you're the second person that I've interviewed. The first one was The Exception. Did you watch any of that? Did you see it?
I watched a little bit. I mean, I think it was like 2.5 hours or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. Um, I I mean, I think a lot of people they just don't want to watch something that's long. But also, I haven't even watched the last Titan talk. I
Uh-huh.
heard a little bit of it or whatever, but I've been I my mom wanted to watch Yellowstone, and so I hooked her up with I got a website that I go to. So
Uh-huh.
I was watching Yellowstone with her for 3 fucking days. So
That's all right,
I'm a
brother.
little
I'm not.
behind on some of the stuff.
I can't tell you how long this is going to go. Do you have any time limits? Because I can talk all night.
No, I don't have time limits. If I got to piss once in a while, something like that. But yeah, I don't have time limits.
All right, good. So I just, it's this is just I'm just taking it wherever it goes, it goes. There's two types of individuals that I really want to get on the show. One is just the every man, every woman that's part of Titano, just like me. I am an investor, so but I don't have anything to do with the project. I'm not a brilliant strategist. I don't understand everything that encompasses crypto. I've only been doing it for about a year. And so but then there's two aspects. I'm looking to get a more personal side of everybody in the Discord specifically, because I like that community. And I thought, oh man, wouldn't it be nice if we could get people together from that community so you can actually get to learn a little bit more about the people that you're seeing, the little avatar and that whatever it is that's being said in the Discord. So I thought it'd be a great place to flesh out who we really are. So that's the purpose behind it. If we can get some of the big fish in here, like Summit, which he said he would, Austin and Wayne, I'd love to get him in here so that we can talk about the mechanics of crypto. And, because I think a lot of people, especially myself, a lot of times when they're throwing terms around all over the place in the Discord, sometimes that stuff goes right over my head, and I
Oh,
just
definitely.
and it goes so fast. And I just feel like remember like when you were in school and you're just like the teacher's like, does anyone have questions? And you're just like,
Like,
uh,
hello.
yeah, that's what I feel like, So I was like, God dang, we need a place where you can ask the questions, you can talk about stuff, and I want your opinion also on things like, hey, if I asked you, hey, what does a burn mean to you? What does inflation mean to you in crypto? I, I just want to hear your point of view on it. I don't know if it's going to be right or wrong, but we're going to go
Well,
into it.
um I tried to invite you to that lounge talk the other night.
Yeah, I
Um,
couldn't hear because
yeah,
my
that was terrible too because I was like, I thought, you really want a conversation. David's the one for a conversation. He'll take you
yeah,
there.
I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah.
But
So that's it. So no reasons to get nervous here or anything like that. It's just two guys chewing the fat and talking about stuff. And so I already got a whole bunch, I've already gone through your Discord history. I picked out a few things. Yeah.
this morning was a little rough.
So I've done my homework. I got a few things I think that'll, at least get us probably an hour or more. So if, the chemistry is there, who knows how long it'll go.
Well, I liked you from the get go, man. Like, just I mean, honestly, your involvement in the project is respectable. Like, I mean,
Uh,
you're going in there and doing little contests for people, and I thought, fuck, that's a great idea, man. Like, that's really cool. And then I found out how old you were, and I went, holy shit. I mean, not I'm not saying you're an old man, but I'm saying, I'm 45, and a lot of people in crypto are fucking, they're 20 or whatever,
yeah. Yeah.
and for your involvement at 55, right? You're 55.
Yeah.
Yeah,
55.
I thought that was crazy, and then you run your own business too, man. And but I seen you like bikes and shit like that, and I was like, all right, there's my dude right there.
I'm
And I
still
used to
young at
live in
heart, man.
Arizona back in the day.
I'm still young at heart.
Well, I think a lot of us try to be, but our bodies say, I mean, mine anyway. Mine says fuck you. my body hates me. I've got a bad back, dude. Like I've got bad feet, bad back.
Me too.
Um, fuck, 3 years ago, my back and hips went to shit. I just woke up like that, and I was on an 18-day bike ride, and I flew up kind of around here. I flew up to Washington State. I was living in Texas, and I flew up to pick up a bike from a buddy that my best friend actually bought from him. It's a buddy of ours that just didn't ride anymore with his wife
Mhm.
and shit. And his bike just sits there in his garage. So he bought his bike from him, and so I picked that up, and I stayed the night at another friend of mine's house down in the valley there where my family lives. And I woke up and fucking back, hips, and fuck man, I was chewing hydros and ibuprofen and drinking the whole ride, like just to make it,
Just wait
just to
another 10
function.
years.
But oh yeah, another 10 years. Well,
Wait another 10 years.
I've got degenerative disc. I've been in the freaking. I mean, I've been to the doctors and the MRIs and the X-rays and phys therapy and all that shit. And
Uh-huh.
so there's no getting better for me.
Well, I've always said, man, after a certain age, life is pain management, brother. That's what it
Yeah,
is. That's really what it amounts to.
I woke up when I was 40 years old. I woke up my 40th birthday, and one of my I don't remember which one, but one of my arms I couldn't raise all the way up, man. Like it fucking hurt, and I didn't do anything. I was just like, okay, so this is 40. Thanks.
I always wondered when I was a kid. I would be thinking like, how come old people just talk about their joints and their necks and their backs and how everything hurts. And I used to think, man, well, why you want to talk about all that stuff? And then when it starts to happen to you every day, you're like, oh, now I understand why they talk about these things so
I
much.
used to make fun of my dad when he was in his 30s. My dad's 20 years older than I am. He had me when he was 20, so he's 65. But I used to make fun of him in his 30s, call him an old man and shit.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know, karma. I don't know. I'm paying for all, anything that I ever said to anybody. I'll tell you that.
It's what's in store for all of us, man. Oh, no. Oh, back in the day when I was pretty and I had lots of hair, you think, oh man, you're going to be like this forever, and that all that stuff that happens to everybody else, that's not going to happen to me. And
Right?
yeah,
I used to be pretty too. I had hair down to my ass. I grew that like 3 times. That was back when I lived down in Arizona there. That was one of the times I had my hair down to my ass, and fuck, I was 19 and hitting the titty bars, baby.
yeah, that's interesting. I don't see too much of that over here. I came from New Jersey, where you see a lot of that, and New York State also, but you don't see whole lot of that. It's very different here than what I'm used to. But I've grown to like the calm state of affairs. And
Yeah, well, yeah. I think you get a little older, and you're like, oh, I don't want to go out all night. Leave me alone.
plus, you like motorcycles. Where I'm at. You can ride all year long, and
Yeah,
I'm out in the boonies, and I'm talking about like miles and miles and miles of road. So you can just and what's nice too is even here in the summertime, there's a cooling effect that happens here because they irrigate the cornfields, the cotton fields, and so there's these large areas where everywhere else it's 100 degrees, 105 degrees, but in these areas between the fields, temperature drops 15, 20 degrees, so it's pretty nice and it actually feels cold. And that's
uh,
from the water and the wind going over the water.
God, I want to say it was Surprise or whatever out there, Sun
Yeah.
Valley
Uh-huh.
area somewhere, whatever. But
Yeah.
um, my best friend, he's in Texas, but we both come from Washington mainly, and he was living in Surprise over there for a year, trying to, the company, he still works for Home Depot, but company dangling that fucking carrot in front of him all the time. So he was over there for a year living out of a trailer. And so I was down there last August to ride his bike back over to Texas for him while he pulled the trailer.
Uh-huh.
And it was monsoons, man. I was like, oh,
Ugh.
the freaking humidity and shit was terrible. But
That's only for a
um,
couple months out of the year.
well, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
living down there, living in Texas and
Hmm.
just the flat area is more. Both of us, we've ridden, more living in Washington State.
Hmm.
we're over on the coastal side where it rains, a lot or whatever, sprinkles, really.
Right.
And, shit, we rode over the pass one time. I want to say it was in April. And fucking there was, I don't know, 5, 6 feet of snow on the sides of the road or whatever. And you could see that glisten on the road, and
Oh,
we
you can't
froze
ride.
our asses off, to ride up over the pass and get to Leavenworth on the Wenatchee and stuff where it's a little bit drier and warmer.
Uh-huh.
And we got up over the pass. We got in Leavenworth and it was sun shining, but we're in McDonald's with our hands underneath the dryer trying to warm our fucking hands because it was so damn cold over the pass. And
Yeah, you guys are hardcore. I wouldn't even go out in something like that, man. No way.
uh, I think the
Uh,
first year, my first bike, the first year I had it, I put 24,000 on it. I think.
uh-huh. Yeah. I love it. I don't understand anyone who says that it doesn't interest them. It just blows my mind. I can't understand it, man. The
Nah, my
freedom.
cousin will tell you. He says 2 wheels, man. 2 wheels ain't meant for me, bro. I gotta have 4 wheels underneath me.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that too. Well, to each their own.
Yeah, yeah.
So how about we break into a little Titano?
Doc, hit it.
All right. Are you a whale?
What's that?
Are you a whale?
Oh, yes.
Uh, I kind of figured that you were because you've been in for a while.
Well, you won play twice. You said right.
Yeah.
I as well. I won play
Uh,
twice.
oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Was
So
that
I'm
pretty
I'm in
recently?
that Moby Dick region.
Oh, good. All right. Well, I see now they've added a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not quite there yet, but I'm close.
I'm far from, but if you're close, good for you, buddy.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
then we need.
anybody that everybody complains about the price or whatever and all that, but anybody that wins play at
Yeah.
at this level
Uh,
is sitting pretty good. Like I mean, you should love the price actually for that type of thing. Getting
you
in
know,
now while it's low.
if it stays where it's at, I don't have any problems. If it starts going like below a cent, then I might have a few issues. I'm like, okay, it needs to like some. I would like to see the brakes put on the fall right now.
Well, it's below a cent now because it's at like 7/10. So, but if it drops down to I don't know under like I don't know. I did a bunch of math million times, but it starts going under like 3/10 of a cent. I'm like, God damn it! Like, don't do this. But
Let me let me
I
let
think
me
we're pretty good.
let me see where we're at right over here. It's at 0.007. And so what I'm saying is that the point where it gets to 0.000, then,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to see that.
yeah.
I
When
don't
it's
want to
under
see
that,
that.
when it starts breaking out 3 zeros, you're like, oh fuck, where's the tissue at?
um, okay, so good. So we should start a whale club. Have you thought about that? Maybe heard it mentioned. Nobody really seems to be doing it, but I think it'd be a good idea.
Um, not that I'm gonna click on any stupid random link or anything, but I
Uh,
didn't really even tell but a couple people that I even won because I just think that when you do, then there's people just looking at you like, let's go try to scam that dude. You know?
Well, I mean, it's kind of easy in my mind. It's just like don't click on anything. I mean, like anything that I see that doesn't come from the announcements, it goes in the garbage.
Yeah, I stay away from it. I've been clicking on Wayne's little Titan chest, but
That's a cool website, isn't it?
yeah, it's cool.
You can buy and sell Titano within his website. He's got it embedded in there, which I really
Oh,
like.
I didn't play with that or anything, but
Hmm. Yeah, it's really nice. Actually, he's doing a good job. In fact, I'm there way more than I am on Titano's website.
I'm on my phone most of the time, so
Uh
you
huh.
know, same thing like with the Discord and everything else. So, like a lot of those, the mods and all that, they're all, but I'm sitting here like, so yeah, I'm
So
just on
you
my
you
phone a lot. So,
you've been in Titano since when? When did you come in, and at what price?
it was like November. It was like 3 cents in November.
Hmm.
So I think it was just starting to get up and going. Like I think a couple. I think the one we won't talk about got in at like 2 cents, and I got in at 3 cents. But
Mr. Hands.
I didn't put a lot in there. You know, I don't
Uh-huh.
remember what I put in, but I know that I've got $5,000 in there now of my
Mhm.
own money. But I'm like you though. I started playing with crypto little over over a year ago, but not a little over a year ago.
So, what brought you to crypto? How'd you get into it? What was the circumstance?
I almost did in 2015, man. I was I was out of the oil field. I was in Texas. I was in West Texas, and I'm sitting there doing nothing. I was actually selling weed in Texas. I got shit shipped down from me in Washington from Washington here, but it's illegal down there. So I was freaking
Mhm.
selling weed and chilling. But I had 10 grand sitting in my closet, and Bitcoin was at $303 or some shit like that. And
Wow.
when it first came out, I went, "Well, that's a fucking joke. That's not gonna happen. That's stupid." And then it went up, like it was at 303, and I went, "I got 10 grand just fucking sitting there. I'm gonna fucking put some shit in there." And I couldn't figure out a wallet, dude. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this wallet shit.
Uh,
So I got frustrated and went, "Nah, not doing that."
that was it, huh?
That was
So you
it,
could have
man.
bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin when it was at $300.
Yeah, yeah. Not that I ever would have let it get to as high, but I mean, I could have made money off of it, and
Well,
I got frustrated at the time.
let's talk about that. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to hold this thing until it gets to blah blah blah, whatever, whatever. But a lot of people don't. How far do you think you could hold?
Man,
Let's
I,
look at Titano. I mean, do you
I don't
think
know
you could
because
hold?
I really want to do passive income, bro. I don't really want to sell my bag.
Hmm.
I want passive income. That's what I started actually. I bought XRP and I made 4 grand off of XRP.
Hmm.
And then I was looking at Helium, and I was sitting there and fucking spinning wheels all over Helium. And I talked to my mom, and because I wanted to get a bankroll so I could, because there's none up in my area at the time, like
Hmm.
zero. So I said, I'll create a fucking network up here. I'll put 20 of them up here or some shit. And I couldn't get my mom to do it. And she was like, well, first she was like, I'll talk to your aunt. Your aunt likes to invest in stuff. And so I was like, cool, whatever, get on it. And she wasn't really responding to me like for a little bit. And I was like, shit, I had to pull the trigger, and I spent what I had on some units. And what happened? I took that trip down to help my buddy. I took his bike over there. Well, I
Hmm.
spent too much money on that trip. So when I got back, all my units showed up. I had a couple units, but all my other Bobcats showed up while I was gone on vacation. And I came back and I didn't have enough money to get the cables and antennas and shit to do what I wanted to do. And I seen them running, what, up to like 3 grand on eBay or some shit like that.
Uh-huh.
So I sold my Bobcats for 21, 22, 2,300 bucks a piece. And then I got heavily into Planet Watch. Well, besides other little stuff, I did Ring. Oh, I got scammed 2,300 bucks on
I
something that had to do with helium.
Okay, I saw that in the Discord. What's the story there? What happened with the
Oh,
twenty three
it
hundred
was
bucks?
it was some company that was um using helium's name,
Uh,
so they were already setting up nodes, and you could buy into their system or whatever. But
mm-hmm.
I asked them a shit ton of questions, man. And you know what I ended up doing, my dumbass? I actually fed them the answers because I was like, why would anybody do that unless they did this or whatever? They're like, yeah. And I just like, I fucking fed them the answers of why would you even do that? Why wouldn't you just take all the money? Blah blah blah. And so I ended up getting in there, and I got a little bit of return, and then I put in more, and I ended up at 2,300 bucks. And after that, they shut it down. Like they had a bunch of people already in it, and I had a bunch of money already. They
Took the
ripped the
money
shit
and
ton of
run.
people out. Yeah, took the money and dashed, and so I lost out on that. I got into Ring, which was a node system.
Hmm.
I got into Ring, and I couldn't afford to get into Strong Block. I got into Ring. I lost 3 grand on Ring because that was like a slow rug.
Hmm.
Um, I
What
mean,
are you
there's a
in
few
now?
things.
What are you in now? Just Titano?
Mostly Titano. I have, I don't know. I think I have a little bit of Gala. Um, I have Luna One, which hasn't been released yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You talking about the new Luna?
it's not even the new Luna. It's a separate deal that's going on. It's called Luna One, but it has
Oh,
nothing to do with Luna and Luna Classic and all that. And
oh, I see.
yeah, it was a different project.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just have a little bit here and there, but my big bag's in Titano.
Mm-hmm.
I have Planet Watch, but there was an issue with their Aware and their Aware element, because they were using other companies' units and they had an issue with Aware, and that caused a big problem in the project. So the project's really down right now, but I still think that it's got that Helium, vibe. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it's
Mm-mm.
they did the same thing as Helium. Everybody buys a unit and they get rewarded for their unit. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an air quality sensor, indoor and outdoor ones, and so I thought it was a great idea, and I think they'll do well. But just with that problem they had, that it just took it so far back that I think it's going to take it so long to recoup.
How about drip? You got
Drip. I
you in
I
drip?
got I put a few $100s into drip. I don't know. I think 400 or something.
Uh-huh.
Um, I joked with David actually. Well, I was actually asking him. It was a legit question, but I knew he wasn't going to answer it. But I asked him when the first partner, because he was talking about that first partner getting announced, and at the same time I was in, I don't know, Twitter or something. I was on something that 4X from Drip was talking about how they were getting on a new Dex, and so they were getting a new partnership or whatever, and I was like,
Uh-huh. So
So
you're
I
not
had
in
to.
drip?
I am. I've got a few $100 in there or whatever,
Oh, okay.
but it's
Uh,
down right now too. So everything's down.
it's something like $12. I think $12 or something like that right now.
Yeah, I think I bought into. Yeah, I did. I bought in at 60, and then
I
I
bought it at
think.
about 150.
Oh
I
boy,
put $18,000 in there.
shit! Right when it was almost peaked, it hit like
And then
169 or something like that.
it almost immediately started going down.
Oh man, it went up to, I think it was 169 or whatever. But I think I bought a, I don't know, $100 or something when it was close to 100 or whatever. I I put in a few different times, but not that much at a time. I don't know if I got 400 or $500 in there or something.
Mm. So then, okay, I don't, if you said, I don't remember, man. You said, what were the circumstances that surrounded the Titano? Like, I mean, when you started saying to yourself, wow, this is really something that I like, what was it about it
Man,
that said, you know what, this is a keeper, this one?
man. So I bought in at, what I say, 3 cents. I bought it at three
Yeah.
cents, and I don't know if I put 300 fucking bucks in there. Whatever I put, something. It wasn't too much, but I watched it. It went up clear to like 21 cents. Close to 22 or something like that,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
and then it took a big heavy shit all the way down. I was watching it and I was just tripping. I was playing with Coin Market Cap, and it's sitting there like bouncing between numbers because it's trying to update, and
Yeah.
it's just boom, 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 boom. And I watched it, and I got into the Discord, and it went clear down to, I think, 1.9 or something like that, cents, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen in Discord what had happened, and it was that play hack.
Mm-hmm.
And man, within an hour, it was back at like 13 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And the team, David and everybody, they were talking about, they replaced everybody's freaking
Mm-hmm.
stolen coins.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, shit, these guys are legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That
I
was a
seen
big
what
deal.
happened. It sucked, but these guys are replacing everybody's money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's a fucking team, and that's a project that is worth sticking by, man. Like,
Yeah, because what is it that everybody tells you about? DeFi, right? It's the wild west of finance, and when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah,
And but in this case, it wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
These guys, I was just like, so anybody that wants to talk shit, like I'm always like, you don't even know, man. Like, I mean, if you were here and you can just go through the announcements, whatever, but if you've been around since the play hack and you don't believe in these guys,
Mhm.
you're an asshole. Like, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think people really realize just how big a deal that is, and it was something like, I don't know, it was a couple $1,000,000 too. So
Yeah, they take it out of their own pockets. I mean, sure, they ended up recouping or whatever, but they took it out of their own pockets. Plus, the money they recoup, they're going to put back in the project anyway. So,
mhm.
they're not refunding themselves. They replaced people's money out of their own pockets and didn't take it back.
That was a big deal. That was the thing that really got me. And I'll tell you another thing that got me was I was private messaging with David, and I was just trying to pick his brain, and I was just I was floored ultimately how he just would not uh, tell me to go ahead and spend my money there. It's like he went out of his way to say, I don't feel comfortable telling you what to do. I'm not going to say what I think you want me to say. And he did not try to get me to, because I told him I was going to drop a big amount of money down, which I did. But it was his radio silence like that it just made me like, I really, really respect this guy. He's not trying to take my money. He's not trying to talk me into something. In fact, really, what it sounded like to me is he was telling me to be cautious. And I mean, exactly the opposite of what I would think you would say to somebody who's potentially wants to invest in your business. I mean, if you're looking for investors, right, you want their money. And I almost felt like he didn't want it. And so,
he,
and I just was like, well, okay, and so I did my due diligence, and
he tells everybody that it's an experiment. He's like, this is
uh,
an experiment in space. So yeah, he warns everybody, be cautious, whatever, and everybody, they all do. And Dave will say it's an experiment, and as far as I'm concerned, we all lose, we all win. Like, we're all in it, man.
yeah. And so your sense of optimism now, even though the price has dropped pretty significantly, hasn't changed.
And not at all, man. I've had my moments where, in you know, I think David will say it's emotional moments or whatever. Your emotional choices. Or a lot of people make choices on emotions,
Mm.
and I've had my freakouts. And it's not a lot of money, but to me, it was a lot of money because of the situation I've been in for the last few years or whatever. But I had 17 grand, and that was before I put another grand in, I think. So I think I had 4 grand in there.
Uh,
And so I had 17 grand when it was at its high at the time. I think I had 100,000, or I guess it wasn't at its high, but it was rocking in there. I think it was 17 cents or whatever, and it was up there. And I sat there and I watched it go down and down and down and kept watching it go down. So sure, I went shit, because I just thought it was going to go back up like it did with the play hack, but it just kind of, and I think it stuck around 8 cents for a little bit too, but
mhm.
in that region, but ultimately went down. Um, but I know all the stuff that happened to make it go down. I mean, we
Right.
all talk about it, or the team all talks about it, and they'll tell you same thing every time, and
It's
you
not
can
like
see it.
it's not like it happened in a vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was not a rug pull like people say, or it's a rug pull or whatever. I'm like, you fucking think this project is a rug pull, bro? Like, these guys replaced it. Everybody's stolen money. Like,
Yeah.
you're kidding me. You're
It
an
would have
idiot.
happened already. It would have happened already. It
Yeah,
was.
it would have happened already.
Hmm.
So I'm
Now
I'm
let
I'm
me.
curious, how much did you put in, or when did you buy in? Like, when did you
Uh,
put your big
well,
big bag in?
I bought in at 13 cents. It was the
13 cents.
first time, and I've heavily DCA'd since then. But I put
Yeah.
in over 120,000.
Damn.
So I'm
Damn.
invested. Why do you think
So
I'm doing this YouTube channel, brother? I got to protect my investment.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, if things go, yeah, listen, I mean, look, honestly, even if things stay at where it's at right now, by the end of the year, I'll be sitting pretty. I'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't take much for me. A couple million, I'll be happy.
Well, I was looking at that thing that Titan chest thing that Wayne put up there or whatever, and how much you actually, if you take out a big chunk of money, you get pretty screwed. I was like, damn. But I mean, for
Thirty
me, I
percent.
always wanted to be able to take at least like 300. If I could take at least $300 out a day, man, I'm the happiest dude on the planet.
Hmm.
So, but if I can take five, a grand, like if I could take a grand, Jesus,
Yeah.
I mean that's all I'm down for, man.
It
Like I,
doesn't take too much, even at these prices, if you can get your bag up to somewhere around, uh, like between 5 and 7 million tokens,
yeah,
you're looking at about $1,400 a day right there, even at today's price. So, when things get better, you could be doing really well.
yeah. I'm and with all the stuff, man. I mean, anybody I tell them go to the roadmap, go to the announcements, listen to the Titan talk, whatever. I mean, you'll see that there's so much in the works. Like these guys are just they're busy bees. Like no, sure, you don't see it. You don't see it. You're never gonna see it. You're not behind the scenes, but look at what they're working on. If you have no hope for this, like I don't think you're very intelligent. I mean, just look at what they're
I don't
working
know.
on.
I think some people are just, put off by the fact that there's some amount of secrecy, and some people just are skeptical of that kind of thing. But I can tell you, if I was one of the developers, I would not want everybody to know who I was because,
You don't.
I mean, could you just imagine if things do go? I mean, just things go bad for somebody, they're going to want to kill you. You know what I
That
mean?
Linda shit, man. I
I
think
mean, having one person that wants to kill you is one thing. Having 1,000 is something else. So, I mean, if I were those guys, I would never do it. I would never give up who I am ever.
the last thing I heard, and I don't know if it kept going or whatever, but the last thing I heard was 8 people committed suicide over their Luna losses.
Wow.
So, and that one dude was on Do Kwan's doorstep asking his wife like if he was there and shit. So, I mean, no freaking way would I want people to know who I am, and it has nothing to do with you know trying to be secret. I just like you said, I don't want death threats and freaking somebody at my door if shit goes south. I
Yeah,
didn't mean for it to go south. I didn't want it to go south. It
I
just did.
think that nobody's got a gun to your head to put the money in Titano. Uh,
Exactly.
you do it, you're doing it at your own free will. Those devs don't owe you anything. I mean, if they forced you to give your money to them, then I would say okay, maybe you've got a beef. But it's just like with my business too. When people start to get kind of pushy with me, I tell them to go jump in the lake. I don't give a shit. It's like it's my business. If I don't want to tell you or talk to you about this thing, I don't have to. You're not here to be my friend. You're here to buy my honey. That's it. You
Send
know.
me a link to that, dude. I want to check your shit out.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll put it in. I think it's somewhere in there. But it's true. It's True Love Honey. If you've,
True Love Honey. I
yeah,
seen somebody. I think it said something about blueberry honey or whatever.
yeah, that was our creamed honey.
Ah, I.
Uh-huh.
You make a blackberry?
We haven't yet, no.
Oh.
But I have the ingredients for it. It's on the list. I've got a long list of for my research and development. Uh, but we're pretty busy here. We work 7 days a week. We have not had a vacation in 13 years, and so it's kind of
Jeez,
crazy. Hmm?
damn it, man. Go on
Yeah.
vacation. I thought you were just management anyway. Get the hell out of there.
I started with $212 13 years ago, and it's just taken off ever since. I mean, it has never stopped. It's
That to
crazy.
me seems crazy, but
Hmm.
and I know I listened to part of it or something, but didn't you say I mean, you just sold it on the side of the road or whatever?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
brother.
insane.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you something. Back in those days, it was really, really tough. I remember one time. a bank executive stopped, and I knew him because prior to me starting my own business, I was in a multi-level marketing organization,
Ah.
and I had done really well in it actually. Even though it only last, it was a very quick ascent and fall. But I was doing presentations for his group, and his group wasn't even part of my group. It's just that we knew each other and we got to talking, and so I wanted to help him out. But anyway, he happened to just stop at one of my roadside stands, and I saw him, and I thought, oh man. At this point, I was probably only in business for like 6 months, and I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't want him to see me, out there in my cargo shorts and my t-shirt, and because he saw me only in a suit, So
Oh
anyway, he
yeah.
gets out and he looks around. He's looking at my tent, my table, and he says, "Anthony," and I'm just looking at him. He's like, "Well,
Is that you?
what are you doing out here?"
Mm.
And I said, "Well, this is my business." And he's looking at the table, and he's like so confused looking. He's like, "You think you're going to be doing this forever?" And I said, I don't know. And dude, I felt this big,
Oh
because
shit.
I was just getting started with everything. I was still like, having to purchase a lot of infrastructure in the beginning. There was almost like nothing, barely for gas. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if what I was doing was going to turn into what it has turned into. But it
And
was
this
an
guy comes in
important
here and beats
moment.
you down.
It was an important moment, though, even though it was humiliating. I never forgot that day, and I think about it a lot because when he left, it gave me something to bite into, and I said, "Man, I'm going to make sure, that I bust through this thing no matter what." And there were a lot of tough days. So, what's happening here with Titano, I'm used to the pressure. It doesn't concern me too much because I've already been through this so many times, and the
Did
money
you
that
did
I
you
put
do it
in
all in
there,
Tucson?
huh?
Did you do it all in Tucson? Was it
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I have to say, I have feel a very strong connection to Titano, and the ebbs and flows that I've seen and experienced with it so far don't bother me one bit, because that is the natural ebb and flow a business takes. There's, it rises and it falls. And just like in crypto, you can't make money. Matter of fact, you cannot make money if the price doesn't go up and down. It just can't. It need that volatility. So I kind of feel like I understand what's happening here. The only unknowns in my mind are, of course, like we were saying, the team and what their sense of responsibilities are. I mean, we don't talk to them, so we don't really know. But I have to believe that they care about their project just like I cared about my little project 13 years ago, and that they're in it, through thick and thin. And if they are, then I have no doubts that we're going to make it. So we just have to see.
I will try and invite you again anytime that I see. I've been in two of them. I've last one. The last one I was almost the only one talking, but I didn't say a word the first one I was in either. No, I didn't. But
Uh,
this last one I was just jumping in there and chatting away, and because nobody really was. I mean, Summit was talking to David, but and I think there was maybe two other people that actually asked something, but I mean, you could at least, if I got you in there and it actually functioned right, then you could talk to David there too and yak him up, and he'll talk to you all night long, bro.
I thought it was funny when I was trying to listen to what was happening in there. Once I got off the phone, I was immediately greeted with some kind of questionnaire asking me if I had trouble. So it's made me think that everybody has trouble.
I know I had your layout the first time I went in, but I can't remember how it ever got switched. And now it's different where I've got all the names. I don't have the little pictures and stuff. I just got all the list of names, and I'd have to mess around with it to try to figure it out. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think it's cool of him to do and to take his time out to do stuff like that. And
David spends a lot of time with the community, and thank God we have that, because if you didn't have that, I guess you wouldn't have anything. So really,
yeah, a lot of people, man, God, there's so many people that'll come in there and just piss and moan in the freaking main chat, and uh, I want that ban hammer, bro. Just
It's a
get that
long
out
process,
of here.
Fred. I think that people's their comfortableness with pain, that threshold, man, is something that you need to work out like your muscles, man. If you got big biceps, you want big chest, big shoulders, man. There's a lot of pain that goes into getting you there, and I think it's the same thing with investments. It's like um, you've got to. It takes a long time to really get comfortable with the way things work, understand that when things sometimes tip a little bit to the downside, that it's not the end, that it comes back, and that it can come back, and that even stronger than you ever thought possible, and it just takes time. People are very like emotional, especially like new investors, and they're scared, and I understand it. I understand it, and I don't understand it at the same time. I know what's going on, but it's like, gosh, come on, people, break away from, I got to do what that guy's doing over there. If he says the world is ending, then it's ending. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, can't you see your project for your project? Don't make decisions for your project, Titano say, because what's happened over there at Ring, Drip, or whatever. It's like, it's not the same thing. Now, I don't know what to tell you. It's like people say, well, we're tied to Bitcoin, we're tied to BNB, and if those things do this, then this is going to do that. And the reason why it does that is because people are behaving with a sheep mentality. They're not thinking for themselves. They're doing something simply because somebody else is doing it. And I don't know how you break away from those kinds of patterns because people are what they are.
People need to take a lot of people with a grain of salt. You got your Twitter and your Discord and your freaking YouTube and Instagram and fuck, man, like it just does Telegram. It doesn't stop, and people feed off of what these other people say so much, too much. And I know that I've overinvested myself, fucking like every time. So I can't I can't be a hypocrite and say that I haven't done it, but if it comes down to me though. I know it's my fault. If I lose out, I know that's my fault. And these people get so freaking pissed off and try to blame it on somebody else. It comes down to you, dude. Like they tell you, do not
Well,
invest
they
what you cannot afford to lose.
they think that they're owed some kind of guarantee,
Fucking
and
true, true.
that I mean, if you've been alive long enough, that's a bunch of horse shit. There's no such thing as a guarantee to anything. The second you wake up and walk outside your house, there's no guarantees. And so it's like, but when you start talking this way to many people, they don't like talking about this kind of stuff. They don't want to talk too deeply about human psychology, and they don't want to talk about their emotions and where they're at with that, and they don't want to be vulnerable with you. And so there's some people you're never going to reach, never ever going to reach, and that's just the way it is. But what I like about the Discord is that there's a bunch of passionate people like yourself. I see you're a FUD hound, man. You go after
I
those guys, man.
fucking
And
I have calmed way down, but because I'm trying to be, I actually, and that's partly because of you, man. Because
is
I
that right?
seen, yeah, I swear to God, because I seen you and your contests, and you wanted to be a positive influence in the community,
Yeah.
and I went, fuck, I need to calm down a bit because all I'm doing is bitching at these people, and
Uh,
I need to mellow out and try to be a more positive person in the community. I can't say influencer because I'm not an influencer, but
you are now.
and, but so I just wanted to be more positive and try to help the devs a little bit more, or not the devs, but the mods a little bit more than
Hmm.
because and I watched Summit and I praised that dude. I'm like, and I praised him in the lounge. I'm like, you have the fucking patience of a saint, bro. Like, how do you deal with this shit? Like, they piss me off like so much. I'm
But
like,
Wes,
stop it because go ahead.
let me just tell you something, man. What you just said is really key, and it's like it's the reason why I wanted to do this. And you said because you saw somebody else taking some higher ground that you wanted to do it yourself. And just like I was telling uh, the exception, this is exactly what I'm trying to do is create an area, a place within Titano where all of us just kind of go inside a little bit more and think about, what could we do to lift the project up in the most positive way. And so
Yeah,
that process that what you're talking about is exactly what I'm looking to happen, and because it needs to happen with everybody else. Because you know what, if I see that you're doing it and this guy's doing it and he's doing it, it holds me up too. Because how
and
long do you think I'm going to want to do it by myself? Not that I
yeah,
am, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
if
no, exactly.
it's easy to get burnt out, if you think that, I'm the only person who's willing, or there's just a 5 guys or 10 guys or whatever, but we want to see 100 guys, 150, 200 guys step
I've
in.
seen a lot more people,
Hmm.
like Dex, and Sinister and Rodstye and just these people that, I'll yak at on there that are trying to freaking support the community, or at
Well,
least, give the positive vibe.
think of the weight that a lot of these guys are carrying, like Summit, Wayne. Those guys have been doing it, and like D Exception. These guys have been around for a long time, and they're doing it all. And there's not too many people that are really helping out. And so I would think that it's very easy for them to just say, why am I doing this when nobody else really seems to care? It's just a handful of people. If you're talking about 40,000 people that are in that Discord, but there's only 20 people who are really carrying the water, I think there's something wrong with that, and that's what I want to address. And that's just the kind of, hey, let's figure out what each of us can do. It doesn't even have to be a lot, because you know what? If you got 100 people to do a little, I mean, let me give you a for instance, man. When I was in the army, I was at, we were getting ready to mobilize and take off out of the country. And one day, this sergeant tells me, "Hey, you got to go unload this tractor trailer." And I don't know if you've ever been in the service or see how we
No,
travel,
but
man. But this
thank you for
tractor
your service
trailer,
anyway, bro.
this was a 53-foot tractor trailer that was packed from the bottom to the top, from the back to the front. Okay. And that's how they roll. And I thought to myself, man, how, this is going to be like all day long. And how? But the army way of doing things over there was you got like 150 guys and you formed a chain from the truck all the way to the building, through the
Oh yeah,
doors, up
man.
the stairs. And so
Chain gang.
everybody just went like this, and it was done in a half an hour.
That's the oldest freaking thing is the chain gang, man. Like totally. You can
So
totally do it.
that's what we need here in the Discord. We need our own chain gang. And I think it's got to be guys like you. It's got to be guys like me. And we have to find the other ones to help out all these other guys, because it's too much for them to do by themselves.
I love some of these dudes that I catch in there, man. But I mean, when I seen you and just being a older guy like me, for crypto, because
Hmm.
I swear, like everybody in crypto is like 20 and they freaking want everything done now, or
Yeah.
because they're entitled or whatever. So that's just the way they act all the time. They're pissed off because it's not done now, and that things didn't. Oh, we got broken promises. Oh, it's set back or whatever. Like, shut up, man. Like, have some patience, bro. Like, the team wants it done right, and they preach that, and they don't want to come into they went through the CERTIC audit and stuff, so they can
Yeah.
have stuff right and do stuff correctly and not have another hack or whatever, play hack or something like that. So,
Better to have
have
it right.
yeah,
Mhm.
do it right the first time, man. I've been told that my freaking whole life. So,
Well, that's something that guys like, us who are a little more seasoned, we're able to go in there and talk to some of these guys like that, so those are probably some roles, that we could take on, because if you don't have a whole lot of life experience, like you were just saying, it's very easy for people to think that, well, things just get done like that, and it should be, it just happens,
oh my god,
a lot of people also too, I think they are just under the opinion that everything's copy and paste. seriously, because that's what they've grown up with. It's very easy to take something from the computer and transfer it over there, or take a snippet of code and put it over there, and you just have to change a few things. But it's not. It's it's very rarely that. But these things can take on a life of their own, and unforeseen complications can really drag on and on and on and turn into.
Everybody's a backseat driver, bro. They're all
Yeah.
sitting in the back seat going, "You got to do it this way. Oh no, turn right. Put on your brakes, man. Shut up. Like I'm gonna backhand you, like my freaking dad would have done. Like shut up." It's
I,
fucking.
it makes me laugh when I see you go after those footers.
Dude, I had this one freaking and well, yeah, a little fuddy, but his mischief was his tag, and he was in there just. He said something about how we need to do marketing right now. And
Yeah.
I made the comment, and I said it was in my opinion, man. I was like, I don't think we should do marketing until heavy marketing anyway, until we have our shit popping, our stuff lined out. It's actually released or releasing. Like, our decks, got held back from coin market cap and stuff, So just wait a little bit until some things start getting released. And I said that was in my opinion. I said I thought it would be wasted money right now. And he freaking just like he's like, well, what do you do? Like asking me what I did for a living and shit. And I was like,
Mhm.
I've done a lot of things, and I didn't buy into it. I didn't fucking take the bait.
What
I
does it
said,
matter? I mean, what does
yeah,
it matter?
I
First of
I
all,
I was holding my tongue well. And he just started going, well, I'm a marketing consultant and I've talked to David and you randoms or whatever,
well,
and
how come he's not talking to David then?
he said he has, and David really values my opinions and stuff like that, and my input.
Well, then why isn't he on the phone with him?
I know. I think it was Summit that actually said everybody talks to David, man. Like you're not fucking special.
Just if he's trying to talk through middlemen to get to David, he's not talking to David.
Yeah, I
He
I
wouldn't
didn't.
need somebody else.
He was sitting there throwing that hook out, but I didn't let him fucking hook me in the cheek.
Let me ask you a question. When it comes to the Titano project, like obviously you already know what's coming. Is there anything else that you think it would be cool to have? Some other functionality for Titanos that you'd like to see? Just let your imagination go crazy.
Well, I did have something we were yakking about the other day, and some days before that or something. It was actually, I think it was in the suggestion somebody talked about having letting Titans bet against each other, like
Oh,
playing poker or something like that. And
uh-huh.
I just put my input in there that I'd really like to see. I used to play old Yahoo games. You ever play old Yahoo games?
Uh,
Cribbage and spades and hearts and shit like that.
500 rummy is the extent of my card playing capabilities in Yahtzee.
Yeah, well, and I think Yahoo actually had that too. They had a lot of shit on there, but they took that
Uh-huh.
away. But I used to play with this. She was a disabled girl in a wheelchair in Europe. I think she was 15 or something, and I
Uh-huh.
think it was when I was in my 20s or whatever. But I would get home from work and I would sit there and play spades and stuff like that with her online, and you could sit there and chat or whatever and bullshit with her. Her name was Miriam.
Yeah, no, that would be cool.
Yeah. And I did that for a long time, and that she didn't have a lot to do, so she enjoyed bullshitting with me, and playing cards with me. And so I thought,
Hmm.
so stuff like that, backgammon and whatever, shit like that. We could sometime throw that in the mix where you can bet and play that type of shit too, or whatever.
Did anybody think that was a good idea?
Oh, I don't even know who was in the chat when I was talking about it, but
Uh-huh.
I think I piggybacked on that suggestion in the suggestion box or whatever. If I
Hmm.
remember correctly, I might have to go back in there and check it, but I think I piggybacked it.
Well, if we had more females in the group, maybe we could play strip poker, I guess. But that.
Nova, what are you doing? Hey, V. uh,
All right. Let me see. I had some other things in here. Okay. Let's just say Titano goes bananas, right? It exceeds beyond your wildest dreams,
what
and you
what
come into $5 million.
Jesus Christ.
What? Give me a handful of things you're going to do immediately following receiving some of that money.
Oh, some of that money?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I guess it depends on how much I have, but um, I like to travel, bro. I've
Mhm.
been in quite a bit of states, through Canada a couple times. I lived in Alaska a couple times, so I drove both times, but down in Mexico and shit like that.
Okay,
So I've
travel.
always, yeah, I like to travel, so I've always thought about, rather than having, well, I'd like a piece of land just for home base or whatever.
Okay, so
But
you travel. You want to buy property. What else?
well, I was going to expand on the travel thing. So I've watched a lot of those YouTube shit where they yeah, I'm sorry, I brain fart and I'm always in pain and shit, so I brain fart a lot. But um, they redo like conversions. They convert
Uh-huh.
buses and vans and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I've
yeah.
always thought about maybe getting like a Mercedes van or something and having somebody fucking deck that all out into a rolling home. So I've got a small rolling home. And I'd like a new bike, bro. I'd like a nice fucking street glide, fucking.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Huh.
You want something different than that beautiful thing that you showed me?
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. That thing, my old man called that a death machine. Um, but it had a 100, it had a 155 R&R on it. I couldn't find the bottom of the throttle on that thing. But the part that I didn't like about that bike for the most part was just the fact it was a hardtail, man. It was a rigid,
Oh, I
and
see. Yeah, yeah.
fuck you
Kills
could.
your back.
Oh my god! And the engine was so fucking big that I had to wrap leather around my leg because my leg would just get burnt.
Yeah. Oh, so
Get
you don't
burnt.
have that anymore. You don't have that bike anymore?
I don't. I actually. So what happened was 2017. I I wasn't doing anything. Money issues, and I only owed like 2 grand on that bike. Um, but I sold both my Road King and my chopper.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I paid off my chopper, and I wanted to have money so I could go to school and just not have to worry about shit. Um, long story short, I went to school for a little while, but nothing ever panned out. And I think some of that was my age. I took some computer courses. Actually, my buddy died too. One of my lifelong friends died um, while I was going to school. So there was a couple courses in that first bit of schooling that I didn't finish, but I did enough where I should have had a decent job anyway. I almost got into IBM, but I didn't know Python or Linux. It was Linux. I didn't know Linux at the time, and well, I still don't, but I didn't use Linux, so I lost out. I was one of the last few people in there, but I lost out on that part of it. The guy just liked me for my attitude and shit.
Okay, so
So
you want to buy a new bike. You said you want a street glide.
yeah, man, I want a brand new Street Glide special. I want a special. I want
Did
that.
you see mine?
I, you have like several. You have like
Several,
four or
but
five or something,
the
something
street
like that.
glide's one of them though. I
Oh
just got
yeah,
the 131 engine put in it.
nice,
It's
nice,
fast.
very nice. They got it all cammed out and shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
big. It's really nice. It's
nice.
fast, dude.
I
I
can
had
have
a
those,
strap.
bro.
Huh? About 1900 cc's.
I would think it would be bigger. Oh no,
Yeah, that's about it.
I forget what mine was on that. It was a 155. That was. I thought it was. I think it was over. It was over 2,000 somewhere though.
The biggest production motor right now is in the Rocket 3. That's the Triumph. Have you seen that bike?
Uh,
It's got like it's over 2,000 cc's, and it's a monster. It's the fastest production bike there that's available. You should look it up on YouTube. The Rocket
oh,
3.
oh, I will.
It's
'Cause
really nice.
I don't know if it would be. It's more of the street side though, ain't it? You know.
Yeah, it's street.
Yeah.
It's street,
And yeah. I mean, rather than a
but it's
touring bike
naked.
or whatever.
It's a naked bike. It doesn't have it doesn't have the music, the fairing,
Yeah,
all
that's
that
what
stuff.
I mean. It's more of a street bike rather than a touring bike.
Yeah, it's not touring. Mm-mm. It's not built
Yeah,
for comfort. No.
yeah. And I gotta have my apes, bro. When
Why
I
did I
first
know
got
you were an ape? I knew you were an ape guy. I just knew it.
when I first got my Road King, I put those pictures on your Discord too, by the way. I put a bunch
Uh-huh.
of pictures on there.
Oh, good.
But
Thank you.
yeah, but I rode it over the mountains. I was living over north of Seattle, and I brought it over and I visited my parents, and it was like a 5.5, 6 hour ride or whatever.
Yeah.
And I hung out over there. I was a few days, whatever. But um, my shoulder hurt for a week when I did that, and I went and my buddies, both my buddies I rode with, they had apes, and I was like, "Yep, we're putting apes on this damn thing."
So you feel more comfortable with the ape handler?
I fuck, I love them. I mean, sometimes your little pinky will go a little numb or something, but whatever. I don't give a shit. My shoulders don't hurt.
To
It's
shake it
nice
out.
kick back, man. I can't do this hunched over crap. I can't. So I did the same thing with that chopper. I got that chopper and it had low bars, and I went, nope, we're putting fucking apes on this thing.
You put apes on the chopper?
Hell yeah.
I I
That
want to see
fucking
that.
bike was nasty, man. And I went over the front end of that thing at 45 one time.
Oh,
And thank God I went over it at 45 because I was heading to the freeway where I was going to be doing 80. The Kevlar, fuck, it was a 3.5 inch belt, I think. That thing fucking snapped and locked up my rear end.
whoa. It got
Yeah.
bound up in there?
What's that?
The belt got bound up in the wheel or something?
Yeah, I got bound up in my rear end and freaking I went over the front end and I got up and instantly I was like worried about my paint job, bro. That paint job was at least 10 grand. And
Wow.
oh yeah, this lady was out on her. She came outside and she was like, "Do you want me to call you an ambulance?" And I was like, "No, I think I'm all right, man." And I freaking pulled my bike. My buddy was actually leading because we were staying at his mom's, and so my buddy was actually leading me to the freeway, and he didn't see me behind him, so he came back, and so I had my bike off the side of the road at that point, and I'm sitting there looking at my gas tank, and it had this like looked like a big ass long gash in my fucking paint, man, and I was like freaking out, and he comes over there and he's like, I said, "Man, look at my fucking gas tank," and he does this shit, and he wipes it off, and I went, "Just fucking wipe that gash off my like $10,000 paint job. Like, what the hell?" It was gone. And so it tore up my elbow really bad. So we think it was the skin off my elbow that was on my gas tank, dude.
Oh man. Oh.
And yeah, he was pulling gravel out of my hamstrings and shit. But I mean, and my elbow was beat to it was pretty gnarly. I had a fuck, I don't know, like it was all covered. It was huge scab for a long time. But at first I was all right, and then like the next day and days after that, I was pretty stiff and pretty sore. But all in
That's
all,
what
it was pretty decent for going over the front of it of a bike. Uh,
I got another question for you. This one's about Titano. Because I saw you wrote something over here and you was like, you wrote, you said, man, I love you fuckers. I love this. I love this community, you know, and,
yeah.
and you went on to say like, that you kind of emotional. So why don't you tell me what does this
Oh
community mean to you?
no, they were the emotional part. They were talking about. Uh, Dex was talking to me about winning play,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, yeah. I said the first time, man, was pretty emotional because,
You're not
I
used to
don't, I don't have. Well, that I've never
winning.
fucking won like shit. I mean, I've played a little bit of the casino or whatever, but I've never really won shit. Lotteries and
Hmm.
shit like that. And I play, dude. You don't win if you don't play. And the emotional thing was like, I don't have an income. I've never won shit. I don't have an
Hmm.
income and haven't for years. And I'm in the middle of, one of them disability claim shit. So who knows when, but I don't have an income. And so, I dabble in my crypto and that's what I do.
Hmm.
And so winning that, I was like, it was so freaking like, it was kind of
Like
some
a
stress relieving, like,
gift
and
from
I'm like,
heaven.
this will put me in a decent position or whatever. And then I fucking won, and that was pretty surreal, man. I was just like, and I think Dex was like, "Oh, so it was just like whatever then, huh?" And I was like, "No, but I mean, the first time was just kind of emotional for me,
Did
you
you
know."
win on the V1 or did you win on the
No,
V2
I just won like, um,
just recently?
yeah, like last week and the week before. Nobody's really supposed to win 2 weeks in a row, but I was one of
Ah,
those guys. You guys can fucking hate me. I was one of the guys that won, 2 weeks in a row, and they
but
had to
because
fix
what
that.
you had because you had different wallets, you mean?
No, no, it was the same wallet. There was just the blacklist thing was messed up. So,
Ah,
they had to go in and fix that because it was messed up. So, hate
I
me,
didn't know that.
people. Please don't hate me, but hate me, whatever.
So you won twice with the same wallet,
Yeah,
like back to back.
yeah, two weeks in a row.
I didn't know that there even was a problem with it. I didn't read about that.
Yeah, they were supposed to. That was supposed to be fixed a long time ago, which they said it was, but apparently it wasn't.
Oh,
And I thought they were also taking out the fact that you can win twice in the same drawing. You can win multiple times in the same drawing. And that was said the other day when they were talking about fixing the blacklist. They said that was never taken out. That's always an actual option. So you could still win multiple times in the same drawing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a little piece
Well,
of info for you, fellas.
what do you think of what do you think about Lotto coming out? Are you interested in that?
A little bit. I want to see actually what I don't know how much titanium you got to use or whatever, something like that. I want to see
Uh,
what's what with it. I don't really know what's what with it yet, but um, I like that it's there. I think that's cool too. I like that it's open for all crypto. Like anybody's going to be able to get into it. That's pretty cool.
hmm. Yeah. What? And so let me as things stand right now, right? You see this as long-term project for you, or how you're just going to
Yeah,
ride
man.
it?
I mean, they talk about the rebases ending for 3.5 years now, whatever. But they've also constantly talked about how it's going to be a full ecosystem, and there's going to be more utilities and shit in 3.5 years. Who knows where we'll be at? But and I don't know what it would take to make me sell a bag, but I don't think I would sell a big bag. I think if it's seeing that thing with Wayne put up there or whatever,
Yeah.
you take such a big hit on it, maybe I'll sell a nice chunk or whatever, but I don't,
Mm.
I don't want to. I don't want to ever really sell my whole bag, man. I want that passive income life. That's what I've
Yeah.
been looking for, the whole time I've been in crypto. I mean, the first time my buddy got me to buy XRP, he said, I was like, what the hell? I said, all right, I'll fucking, so I threw some money in there or whatever, and I ended up, making 4 grand or whatever. But getting into Helium and Planet Watch and nodes, and I was always looking for that type of shit. Jade, Olympus Dow, those are other ones that I did. I made I made some money on Jade, and I think I probably made a couple grand off of Jade. Um,
Hmm.
but I've constantly been, fuck, I put shit into a lot of stupid ones too. Ice maybe a little bit, but I never put that much into these other ones. It
Hmm.
might be $100 or something. It's not like Titanos, Planet Watch, and Helium. I guess those are the three that I put quite a bit into. I guess. Um,
Yeah.
I have credit card debt from dicking around with Planet Watch, so that's actually my first thing. Like after I take my money out of play, or I'm gonna take out, hopefully, probably a few $100, here, there, every other day, something. I need to pay
Hmm.
off that credit card debt, and then I will feel better.
Yeah. Who do you want to see interviewed after you?
Oh, shit, man.
Who would you like
You
to
should
get to know?
you should have gave me a prequel to that, like, to this thing, so I could actually think about that because I have no clue, man. Um,
I want Wayne.
well, yeah, sure. If we're talking moderators and shit like that, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
get on them moderators, man. Wayne, I've heard Summit talk, so he sounds, pretty young or whatever. I'm curious about Wayne. Um,
He's a cool cucumber, man.
I don't know why, but I feel like he's got to be in his 30s somewhere, man. Like I don't know. I'm
I
just
don't know,
thinking
but he sure knows his stuff, and everybody loves him. You see that? He's really
yeah,
held in high regard.
yeah. Well, yeah, he looks like
They
he's
love him.
pretty fucking smart dude. So
He's doing
and
all
and
that work himself. He's not even part of the team, as far as I
Da-
know.
I thought he was, and David will say that shit too. He's like, I go to Wayne for his tech, man. Like Wayne fucking knows his shit.
He does. Yep.
And I thought he was part of the team. I thought, well, I mean, Summit too. I didn't know if their only roles were mods or not, or what the deal was. But you
Hmm.
know,
Do you have any beefs with Titano? That you want anything you want to get off your chest?
beefs?
Yeah.
No, man. I should
No.
probably I should probably just yell and be like, "Fuck when freaking rich, when Lambo, you know, when millionaire, bro."
I wonder where that started. I've only seen that in crypto. This WEN. And it's funny.
I I think it was people that didn't speak English, and so they say that, and then I
Mm.
think everybody else just uses it to joke around with. But I'm not completely sure, but I think that's my
Uh,
guess on that. Somebody just didn't know how to spell when because these people that don't speak English and they use the Google translators and stuff like that.
yeah. How about some contest ideas? You got any contest ideas for me?
Man, I don't. You're all hitting me on the spot, man.
I want to do the blockchain treasure hunt.
I was
And
curious what that was about.
yeah, but I want to hide something somewhere, and I want to make it really difficult for people to trace it and find it.
Oh
Have you ever
boy.
like just gone to just I don't know, you just take one of your own wallets, man, and just try to see how complicated it gets. Complicated quick, man. When you start moving backwards as you're doing transfers and selling stuff, it can get kind of confusing. So I thought, hey, you know what? It would be a lot of fun if we put a pot of gold somewhere and then set everybody out to try and find it. And the first person that finds it gets it.
Man, hunts are pretty cool, man. So
Hmm.
that's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how savvy a lot of people are. Like, I mean, I've looked at on BSC scan or whatever, but I'm no freaking
Did you see what Austin did to that guy that claimed?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he just like shredded him in like 2 or 3 minutes, man. That guy knows how to read blockchain. Trust
He's
me.
like shutting that dude down real quick, and I was like, fucking
Holy
nice,
mackerel! I said,
nice.
what happened? What happened to that nice little mild mannered young man that I see? He turned into a tiger, man, and he took
I
that guy apart, limb from limb.
I can't believe that guy has the freaking stones to come into the chat and throw that shit down. Like I was like,
Man,
because I heard that
oh,
story when it came out, man. But I from what I heard was this guy had multiple wallets and he was freaking manipulating the price with multiple wallets, and he did make a lot of money and walked away with enough money anyway. So when they blacklisted him, like
they
good on
made
the team.
mincemeat out of him. That guy did. That guy got about 5 minutes of his story in, and that was it, man. They just took him apart. I mean, it was like those guys at the, when they pull into the pit stop at the Formula race cars and they have all the wheels off and everything within seconds. That's what it was like with this guy, man. They just took him up to pieces, man. And I thought, holy shit, man! I don't ever want to get on these guys' bad side.
Yeah, I was having fun watching that. I think Summit still said freaking DM me or whatever. We'll take a look at it or something. But Austin
Uh-huh.
was all over it. Like,
So
get out of here.
were you there when that guy dropped on? He put on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching that. So
I had
I was
just put
watching.
out my contest. I just put my contest thing on there, and like 2 seconds later, a clown came out with this big announcement, and totally overshadowed my announcement.
Did the winner from the regret? story get picked?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
already paid.
All
Yeah, it
right.
was like who was that? It was here, let me look real quick. Crypto something. Let me see if I'm
I was
doing it.
curious. I was like, I got a good chance at this one. Damn it, I'm gonna.
Uh
I had another
it
story
was
with my buddy that died too. I could have thrown out that one, but
yeah, Kryptonite. It was a guy called Kryptonite,
kryptonite.
whoever that is. So yeah, he won. $200 worth of
Nice.
yeah. It's sometimes it's hard, dude. Like a lot of people are writing some really personal things that I can even relate to, and just like if you live a long enough life in this world, man, you're gonna be challenged, and it always amazes me how some people just pick up what they got and keep going, and they don't just crumble under the weight of whatever it is that's you know dragging them down, but they just got this endless well of energy and a desire to keep moving forward. So you have to really respect that.
I've seen a I've seen a lot of dark days in the last 3 years since July of 2019, man. So I haven't had anything. I was stuck on my parents' property, um, and I hadn't lived there since I was a teen, dude. I left when I was 17, and I was in Arizona right before my 19th birthday.
Mhm.
But the first time I took off when I was 17. I hitchhiked through Oregon and shit, up and down the I-5 corridor there. Um, and my parents, man, we have a better relationship now. But I should say my stepmom. Actually, I don't have any with my stepmom right now. She can suck a fatty. We are not talking. But
Mhm.
I was stuck on my dad's and my stepmom's property there, and they run an adult family home, and COVID hit, and that's lockdown, baby. Like you can't go nowhere. Like I can't fucking hang out with anybody. Like the
Mhm.
the best I have is going to the doctors. Like
Yeah.
that's my face to face freaking time for a long time, dude. And that'll that'll make you go nuts, man. Because I've always traveled, man.
Hmm.
My dad, when I used to call my dad, and when he picked up the phone, he said, What's your address now? Where you at now?" You know, like he used to call me a tumbleweed because I've always liked to roam, man. I don't
Hmm.
know if it was because I was a Navy baby or something. I don't know, man. But I like to roam, so I don't think my parents understood that. You know, being stuck on their property because I can't go nowhere. I was like, I'm fucking
It was
losing
hard
my
for a lot
mind.
of people. I seen that. I saw that. It was hard for a lot of people. I work every day and I don't go anywhere, so it was no different for me. I, I had no, it impacted me in no way whatsoever. In
Yeah,
fact,
and it was not different for them either.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's why I said I don't think they understood because they were there all the time running an adult family home. Having the elderly people, and so with COVID, they were my stepmom was so paranoid that if it got in there and killed her elderly people, she's like, there goes the house, there goes everything, that's it for us. So I understand her paranoia kind of, but yeah, I don't, and I didn't really vent on them a lot, like I had daily pain, and then on top of that, freaking losing my mind, being stuck in like to me what was basically prison. I mean, they had some property, and I could go around on the property, and and I'd go pick up Walmart orders or something, but I didn't go in stores and shit like that,
Hmm.
and I didn't talk to people really, so it was like it's not good on my mental state, I'll tell you. And,
You're not alone, friend. I've heard a lot of people who were really impacted by it, and I think I mean I hate to get in. I'm not going to get into conspiratorial stuff over here, but my personal opinion is that's a bunch of horseshit. All this COVID garbage. It's not a real pandemic. It's not something that should have happened. Didn't need to happen, but I do think it was done on purpose. I think they want to see just how far they can push us and how hard they can clamp down on us.
I
And
think it was
so I did.
definitely over politicized.
Oh yeah, without question. So listen, I got to close this out, but before we do, and I had this. Oh yeah. So what? Get on to close this whole thing out. Give us your predictions. What's going to happen with Titano this week, next month,
Ah,
next year?
man, I hope everything. I hope these things get released. Like, and that's most of the reasons I hope the stuff gets released. Like on the roadmap right now
Yeah,
is to help a lot of the people that come in there and just start complaining about stuff not being released. I
get
mean,
them out of there.
yeah,
Just shut them
like
up.
get them to calm down, man. Here comes the stuff. But for me, my big, um, for me, the big jack ups for me are like the mobile app coming.
Uh-huh.
I think will be huge. I think
Yeah.
the partnerships on the decks. I mean, once that gets really taken off, I think that's huge.
Hmm.
And I think Launchpad. That's what I was trying to say because they talked about a Launchpad before, like like incubating projects or whatever. I think
Hmm.
that would be fucking huge.
Hmm.
I think that would be huge for investors that are getting, the a lot of people talk about whitelisted or whatever, but actually, really getting in there and knowing that this stuff is coming out before everybody else does, and getting to get their grummy little money in there, and making
Well,
some
I
good
mean,
money off of these things.
we're supposed to see some action this week, aren't we?
As well, I mean, as far as some of the things being released,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I hope some of that stuff comes out. Bet
Yeah.
Swirl, and I'm on the fence about Bet Swirl right now. I mean, as far as just what they got going on, but they start bringing more stuff, and um, I went in there. Have you played with it at all?
I've looked around. I didn't play any. I didn't play any games,
I
but
did
I
with
did look around. It kind of
I think
froze up on me, and I was like, forget it.
I did with Polygon, but I think and it might be me just not playing with it enough, but I think it needs to be a little more user friendly. I
Uh-huh.
guess if you can put money in, if you're not having to sit there and approve transactions every time,
Yeah.
like maybe if you can get like a chunk of money in there and then just use that or something. And I don't
Mm.
know if that's already in there. I just haven't played with it enough,
It's
but
like the casinos, man. Have you ever been to a casino?
yeah, that's
And
that's
those
what I
those
mean.
people are just like they got their credit card around their
Yeah,
neck and they just stick it in the machine and it stays in there until
yeah,
they're
and
broke.
and I'm talking kind of the same thing with online gaming because I've been in the
Yeah.
online casinos too. But so I do like casinos though. I like playing some of that shit. Really I've paid for my trip to Vegas twice, um, because I play Keno. And if any of you guys out there know what Keno is, you'll say it's an old person's game. Like you see old people in there smoking and freaking playing all these different numbers. I go in there and I bet one number, bro, the number three, and it pays out. A lot of big casinos will pay out three times what you put down. So I'll put down $20. If I lose, I'll put down 40, 80, 160, so on. And I do that till I win. So you got to kind of have a nice little bankroll to do that. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they
I'm not
pull
I've
they
never
pull
been
20 numbers every time.
I don't know. I'm afraid of casinos, but I do recognize Titano as being some form of gambling, which I
Yeah.
can get into, but it does feel a little bit more secure to me than sitting in a casino.
Well,
So,
they have these casino aspects to them, and some people were complaining about that, but David said the next partnership has nothing to do with gaming.
yeah.
That's just putting them in a good position, for the future for Titanium.
All right.
And so, I think that's great.
All right. Last thing. Price prediction. Where are we going to be the end of this year? What's your prediction? What do you think?
The end of this year, what do we got? What are we at? We're almost June.
Yeah.
Um, I
I'm
think
gonna write I'm gonna write
uh,
this down. We'll see if you're right.
8 cents, bro. I think we're
Eight
gonna be
cents.
we're gonna be an 8 cent stable. We're gonna be hanging around between 8 and 11 cents.
Well, I sure hope you're right, brother. That would be really Do you
I
think you'd like to?
honestly go ahead.
Do you think you would like to see some kind of get together? You know, for the people of the
Man,
Discord at some point.
well, yeah, being in that lounge chat the other night, David said something about. Yeah, actually, I asked him where he lived because I was like, I really like listening to that dude. I was
Uh,
like, I really want to have a drink with that guy and just freaking listen to some of his shit. But um, I think it would be so freaking cool for everybody to get together. Like he was talking about, just get a fucking white sand, sipping freaking whatever drinks, man, and having a good freaking time. I mean,
would you
that's a
like
lot of
that?
people, a lot of people to get together. But I mean, I think
You
there'd
say
be
you
a good
like to
amount of people
travel,
that would at least show up, man. I would fucking totally dig that.
like on a boat or something, or what?
Man, doing a cruise would be cool.
Like a
You
rent a
know,
big yacht?
yeah, fuck, that would be dope, dude.
Uh
A,
huh.
a big yacht or something, man, and just be somewhere freaking kind of tropical or whatever.
Yeah.
Somewhere with some nice white sand and nice beaches. I want a resort with a swim up bar, dude. I want a swim up bar. If I had enough money and a nice joint and I had a pool, I would have a swim up bar.
Uh huh. Well, I'm
Uh,
sure they have them.
well, I know they have them. I mean, my buddy goes to one in Mexico, but um, I'm just saying, if we went somewhere, I want to swim up bar.
All right. Well, Wes and my
Oh,
name's Tony or Anthony, right?
I was
And
gonna finish up on that prediction though.
okay, let's hear it.
My 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 thing is, I think that if it goes too high though, I mean, I
Yeah.
think if it's sitting somewhere in between that range or something,
Uh,
that it would be good passive for a lot of people. But I think when it gets up there to those all-time highs or whatever, that's when everybody's going to dump big bags. So that's why
mhm.
I mean I would like it's a double-edged sword. I kind of don't,
It always is.
I don't know if I want to see it go that high. I kind of do, but I don't. So anyway, yeah, go. That was I was going to finish with that.
Well, it always is a double-edged sword. Nothing is ever up or down, left or right. You know, it's just yeah. How can you know one without the other? So, it's just going to be that way. We just have to expect it, and you plan for it. That's the best you could do. Is come up with some kind of strategy that encompasses maybe both of those things happening, and you just
Even
count.
between 5 and 8, I would be the happiest guy on the planet.
Dude, I'd be happy with a penny. Honestly, I'd be happy with a penny. I'd be happy with 2 cents. Um, I'm going to be a millionaire with a penny. If it makes it to the end of the year, I'm going to be a millionaire several times over. So, I don't care. But I know a lot of people did buy in at the top. And it's going to be kind of tough for them because they're going to need a little
Sounds
bit of
like
time.
you do extremely well at your own business.
I do well already, so we work really hard, and we built something really nice. So I'm not counting on this, but I have to be honest with you. We bought some property next door, and we want to put a nice 8,000 square foot building over there. So this Titano would go a long way towards giving me a brand new shop, which I would welcome very eagerly.
Is that part of the business or just to have?
Yeah, it would be part of the business. Hmm.
You got the wife and kids?
Yeah, we all work. We're the only ones that we run everything.
How many
So it's
kids?
my two girls
Oh, two
plus my
girls.
wife.
How old are
Yeah.
they?
Well, the oldest is 22. My youngest is 9.
Oh,
And
oh.
yeah. Oh yeah, brother. When most people are slowing down, I'm speeding up. I'm just getting started.
You're 55. It's time to stop.
Oh yeah,
The wife,
I'm locked in for another 10 or 15 years, brother.
the wife
Like
don't want to have no more kids, man.
that we would listen. I think if we've talked about this, we would have more if we could, if it
Is
was
she close
smart.
to your age?
Mhm.
No, I'm surprised you said that then.
Yeah. Well, you know
Sure,
what?
let's
I'm
have another
Italian.
kid.
I'm Italian. She's Mexican. We come
Oh,
from big, family loving cultures. So
yeah, right
mhm.
on.
We don't,
I, I,
that
I
kind
don't produce.
of.
I've played dad a few times, but I don't produce.
Well, there's lots of kids out there that need dads. That's for sure.
That is true.
My oldest isn't mine, but in my heart she is.
Yeah, well, I
Hmm.
mean, that's the way I felt about one that I played dad with, for quite a many years. But I was around since she was a month old, so it was like, I
Hmm.
taught her how to tie her shoes and shit like that. I used to sit her on my lap, man, and well, she used to come sit on my lap. She wanted to sit on my lap and watch TV, but she wanted me to do her nails and her shit. So I would clip her fingernails and her toenails, man, and I would file them and I'd freaking paint them for her, and she'd fall asleep while I did that.
Uh-huh.
She loved that shit.
Well, listen, brother, I really enjoyed sitting down talking with you. I'm gonna mix this down. There's a couple steps you got to go through to like compress the video, and then you got to upload it to YouTube, and then YouTube has to check it and make sure that there's nothing weird in there, and then it should go live sometime today, and then I will put together an announcement and put it on Discord for everybody to sit down and get to know you, find out
All right.
who you are.
Well, like I said
Did you?
before, man, much respect to you, man. I think you do a great thing for the community. So,
Thank you.
doing the contest and just wanting to be a positive, influence in the community, I think that's freaking amazing. And to everyone else out there, man, I hope everybody's freaking hopes and dreams come true. And I hope Titano makes everything work for you.
Did you
So,
enjoy tonight?
of course, man.
Want to do it again?
Sure.
All right.
You when I freaking heard about you, like just BSing with you, man, I was like, that's my kind of guy, man. That's my bike riding freaking, buddy. That's a little, he's more my age than probably a lot of these people in crypto. So
I want to get like the screen here with like you ever watch the Brady Bunch and it's got all the squares? I want to get like the Discord with maybe like 10 or 15 people all at the same time in here
I see
and see
that
what
that would be cool because that would be cool to
see what
get
happens.
a lot more people at the same time. I mean, might
Yeah.
have to do the little mic check in or something, but to try to
I,
keep everybody separated from just yakking. But I think it
you
would
know,
be a cool thing.
my thing is just let it go. I don't care. It's like people say, "Oh, this is too long. Oh, you shouldn't do this. You should do that." I'm like, I'm not trying to be a YouTube star. I'm just simply trying to introduce people to each other in the Titano Discord community. That's it. I don't have any kind of plans for this thing for myself. It's just something that we have that where we get to know each other, and that's it. And I don't care if we have 30-minute interviews or 5-hour interviews. I guess it is what it is, and I don't really care.
Um, you should go in there and check out that lounge part on our Discord because I think anybody can set up a lounge talk or whatever in there.
Ah, uh-huh.
So and that's anybody everybody can check in and it could be a bunch of people in there whatever.
Interesting. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. So
All right, my brother. I
all right, man.
appreciate you taking me up on the offer. You said yes right away. I thank you for that.
Yeah. Good talking to
And
you.
we'll see you tomorrow.
I pop in and out on freaking Discord all the time. I'm up late hours and freak sometimes in the middle of the night, whatever. I pop in there, and for me anyway. A lot of people, and I think David, he's over there, by the Philippines somewhere is what I've seen. So his time zone's different. So he'll be like having breakfast, when everybody, when it's on my side, it's freaking late at night or whatever, 11 o'clock or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
You think I can get David on this thing?
Maybe, man. I mean, that guy he likes to yak, man, and he'll talk to you for a long time. So
He likes
you
the yak.
you might have a record freaking session with that guy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody'll have to drag us away.
But that guy's enthusiasm for the project and just man, and that's why I like to listen to him. I don't. I mean, I think that's all it is, really. I mean,
Well,
just
I mean,
fucking
he's
just
uh, he's invested also, so it's in his best interest to take care of the business. That's what we're doing here. This is all of us. We're business partners, man. We're all invested in this thing. And there's no reason in the world why we should be sitting on the sidelines just hoping for the best. We need to get involved and make it the best.
It's
That's
just
right.
I don't know if it's the way he just the stuff that pops off the top of his head, and he can just freaking
That's experience talking.
nothing's scripted, you know. I mean, he just
That's
goes off.
experience.
Yeah.
That, that's what
So
experience does. That's
it's
why
that
you should feel
silver
good.
tongue, man.
It happens when you got enough days under your belt.
Yeah, yeah.
You
He's
know,
interesting to listen to. I didn't know how this was going to go either because I mean, but you know, it's easy to bullshit with you, so it's good. Since you know it's not just a direct line out of here's question. This is what you got to answer. You know, we got the bullshit. So
I've lived it all, brother. I've had it all. I've been broke. I've been not broke. You know, I've lost. So that kind of experience kind of opens you up to the ability to negotiate, to sympathize, to get along with a large swath of the population. I was there, and trust me, I don't forget where I came from.
the most I ever made was playing around in the oil field there. I could have made more, but I quit Halliburton. But I made 75 grand the second year I was there,
Mm,
and um, after that I went to work for the guy that was delivering the cement to Halliburton. He
mm,
delivered from Cemex, and he was a you know a contractor that just had his own trucking thing going on. And I
yeah,
went to work for that guy, and that fucking guy, he did more cocaine than I've ever. Oh man! And I've done cocaine many times over my life, but I did more working for him than the whole freaking time in my life. Like
at
he was day
Halliburton.
in and day out, and I had to be the dispatch. I had to run the shit for him, and he could just sleep and do what he wanted. But he ran that freaking thing into the ground, and I ended up sleeping in my expedition for a while
Uh-huh.
at a truck stop. I stayed in Flying J in my expedition.
I've been there too. So, and I'm telling you that, the thing is the reason why I think I want to do this is I feel like I can relate to anybody, brother. And I'll tell you what, the folks like yourself and myself that have had really hard times, it doesn't have to stay that way. And you can dig yourself out, you can rise above it. Absolutely, without question. If I can do it, anybody could do it. I didn't graduate high school. I don't have a formal education. I didn't inherit money. I did it on my with my own grit. It's just a stubborn attitude that never gives up, never says no. And when people tell me no, I'm just like, don't tell me that. There's no way I'm going to listen to that. Thank you, because you just put something inside of me that is never going to let me stop. You know what I'm saying? And so
To
I,
me, you're just one of those amazing people, bro. You sitting on the side of the road building your business, man. That's
you take it
if
one
you
day at a time, Wes. When I was doing that work over there like that, I could not see where it was going to go. Okay. That was like trying to see the rest of the forest through the trees there. It couldn't be done. It's one day at a time, dealing with today, and then when tomorrow comes, dealing with that day. And the thing is by not giving up, you're just introduced to different people, different circumstances, and if you're involved with it on a daily basis, you were able to put something together, something cohesive, and you start building towards something bigger than you ever imagined. And of course, you go in there with the right amount of energy, and it will be matched by somebody or a number of people because people are going to see what you're doing, and they're going to say, "Man, I want to be a part of that." And what can I do to do this with you? How can I be involved? And that's what happens. And then, you know, over a period of time, I don't know if you ever heard it said, but people say like, "Oh yeah, I'm an overnight success at 13 years." It does take some time, but the kind of magic that can happen in those, 10 to 13 years, it's not something you could really conceptualize unless you've done it already before. But if you've never done it before, there's just so much waiting if you give it your best, and that's the thing, is that but you got to give it everything you've got, and it's like every day. It's like when I was selling honey on the side of the road like that, it was in the rain. It was if it was 115 degrees. It was if it was 14 degrees. Okay. It didn't matter. I went out every single day and built my customer base. And, many people thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy also. Okay. You know, but I had arrived at a place where I thought, look, what am I going to do? I've got to do something. Let me do something that I've never done before, which is just give it everything I've got. And you know, I wanted partners. I wanted somebody to do it with me. Nobody wanted to do it with me. A testament to what I had created up until that time. Just like so many people, brother, there was nothing, I'm telling you, there was nothing special about me. People didn't want to go into business with me. People didn't want to do anything. I had to prove first that, I could do something without getting in my own way first by myself. And that's what I did. And then once that problem was licked, then other people came in and helped me bring it further down the road. Does that make sense? But you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, and sometimes you got to start, you're the only person there. That's it. It's all on you. The rise or the fall. But I kind of like that, because you can turn on a dime when it's just you. You can make adjustments and do whatever you want without having to confer with anybody. And
And
that is the sweet part about it.
when
And
you're
so
working for yourself, hell yeah.
when you're working for yourself, and of course you're learning whatever it is that you're doing from the ground up, which is important, because if somebody gave you money and you jumped into some kind of business venture without knowing how to grow it from the ground up, you're not really um, I don't think you're well served, and I don't think the business is well served either. So the business is well served when you have somebody who understands every aspect of it, and can operate in any department that's necessary. I mean, that's just one of the benefits of being broke and starting your own business. No, I mean that. It's like you don't have to look at it and say, "Hey, I don't have any money to start this business. I started with $212." That's not a bad thing, because if you can pull it off with that
That's
$212,
amazing.
that's amazing. Exactly. And you
if
save
if
yourself a lot of money.
if if somebody didn't have the respect for that, man, they were raised wrong. Like that's
I want
a
to tell you something too, man. When I started this, I was working those 3 jobs, and I started doing this business, which was 4 jobs. I had just had a hernia operation also, and it took me a year to heal up from that operation. And so, when you're talking about living with pain and all of that, I understand that.
yeah. It's
I
fuck.
understand.
I have
But
bone
guess what?
spurs and freaking herniated or not herniated discs, but degenerative discs. Fuck.
Hmm.
I feel every bump in the road. I tell you that.
I hope that this Titano really does something good for you. You can take that money. You're going to start some kind of business, brother. You're going to
I
start some
messed
kind
up,
of.
man.
Hmm?
I messed up. I seen you put Tony Titano on there, but I put my real name on. I
Oh,
I didn't put Spicoli, the crypto Viking, or any of
were
that
you
crap.
wondering how I knew your name was Wes?
Well, you know what? I wasn't even paying any attention to that, man.
Oh.
I, I and I
Well, now
fucking
everybody knows who you are.
I know shit. I'm doxxed. God damn it. God damn it. See, you should have caught me in the beginning, man. God damn it.
Well, I was sitting there calling you Wes, and so I guess that just I suppose that you knew it was there.
Yeah, I just
Can you see it?
yeah, it's small down there and then but it's bigger down here by the video and I'm just looking at you not paying any attention to that shit.
I see.
So now
Well,
I'm doxxed. Y'all know
that's
who I
it.
am, god damn it.
Hey, me too, brother. Everybody knows where I live.
Yeah, but you're Tony Titano, bro. You're not Wes Spindler. You're not fuck I'm out there. I'm doxxed.
Well, don't feel too bad. We both are.
Oh shit.
Well, all right, my friend. Let's call it an evening then, huh? I'm going to wrap
All
this
right,
thing up.
man. I know. We'll just keep bullshitting, so
Yes. All right, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Good talk.
We'll see you in the Discord.
All right. I'll catch you.
All right. Bye.
Good day.